What is up, you beautiful people? So I'm here with one of the main people in the POD industry in India, and he's actually the founder of Printrove. So I'm sure anybody who's into POD and who has been shipping T-shirts India or abroad, they've probably heard of Printrove. They're one of the largest players in the print on demand space. And as you guys know, in my Bizathon 4 or maybe 5, I actually did a little bit of POD myself. I was always more interested in drop shipping, but I'm here to learn something from Madhur, who is the founder of Printrove here, and I'm going to, basically pick his brain so that I can learn some things new, so that it basically motivates me to start my own POD business, because it's something that I've seen a lot of people. In fact, some of my friends who are in this space, so they've been making a killing with POD. So let's see what happens. Let's see what I get to learn. Madhur, thank you so much for giving me your time and energy. Are you ready for me to pick your brain today?
Yes, Ritom. It's great having you.
Awesome, Madhur. So Madhur, just a little bit of history. I know, like, your company has been covered by your story also. So people who want to learn more about their, humble beginnings, they can learn from your story. But just to set some context, you guys started in 2014, 2015?
Yeah, 2014, 2015. Yes, that's right.
So it's been around 4 or 5 years since you've been doing this. Now I want to ask you, like, how many t-shirts or how many items do you ship out per day?
Right now, on the unit level, we're shipping out around 1,200, 1,300 products a day.
That's pretty awesome. So basically, like, almost, I would say 3 lakh units per year or something. Over 3 lakh units per year.
Yeah, and it's growing like we're growing like about 20-25% month on month. So the numbers are increasing. We've seen that for the last 6 months, the growth has been like really good. After we started integrating with Shopify and all these platforms, it's been like increasing tremendously.
Awesome. So I think to set some context for you also. So a lot of my followers who are watching this video, so they're going to want to learn about, like, how they can, either some of them will already have their own POD store set up, or they would want to set a store up. So not only me, but for everybody else out there, like, let's learn something. I want, because you're an insider, right? You have been in the industry, like, you've seen so many orders coming in, you've connected with hundreds, thousands of stores, so you know what kind of products work, what kind of colors work and everything. So I want to learn all these things from you. Like, what should be the starting strategy for somebody who is, let's say, absolutely no clue about starting a POD business? So should they go with a drop shipping route? Should they go with the branded route? What should be their strategy?
So what I've seen in my experience in the print on demand segment is, it is always great to start with drop shipping. The ultimate goal of getting into the e-commerce is that you get to learn the sale and the marketing due to which the business actually thrives. So you have to use drop shipping. You have to see drop shipping as a supply chain, practice. So when you're beginning out, focus on the brand part. Once you focus on the branding part of it, and you look at it. Okay, if I'm starting today, let me focus on the brand. Let me create a niche. The niche is the most important, and your design is the USP.
So you recommend people starting with, like, a niche store, so they research niches. So is there, like, a list of, say, 10-20 niches that are really hot in this space?
Actually, I've seen that the more targeted the niche is, the bigger the chances are that you can explode, leveraging all the other marketing channels as well. So let's say we've seen that niches of cats and dogs also work brilliantly well. Niches of bikes, automobiles, they work brilliantly well. So all these niches, when you start targeting, you target people based on dogs, the breeds of dogs. So that creates a niche in itself. So the targeting becomes very to the point, and the chances of sustaining the brand becomes much higher. So when you're starting out, after 6 months, you can probably enter into one more niche. There, your cost of customer acquisition would go down. You can focus on the lifetime value. So when you're investing on the brand, the lifetime value of the customer is what you should look at.
Of course, that's the long-term play right now. But let's focus on, let's say, somebody who doesn't know how this entire thing works. So even though the basics are clear, because I've covered this in Bizathon 4, but how does somebody go about doing product research? So in terms of, like, selecting designs, are there some sites that people can visit or take inspiration from somewhere?
Yeah. So there are websites, like Fiverr, Upwork, Freelancer, all these websites. You can go talk to designers. I strongly believe that you go with a niche in mind, and you get the design done from a designer, you would be investing a small amount there on the design, but it is like what you would want to wear. So don't go the route of, whatever is there outside, just pick up something and sell. Rather, look at it as, okay, this is what I would wear. This is what my audience would like to wear. So get a design made and then go with selling those designs.
Right. So that is, of course, what I have also recommended people in the past, like Fiverr, Upwork, Freelancer, is where you get the designs made, right? But where do you find the inspiration? Like where does somebody go about researching? Or let's say I want to do something in the nurses category. Okay, nurses is also something that's a pretty big category, especially abroad. So so how do I research like t-shirts around nurses and what kind of things do they like?
So the nurses, doctor, this segment is good. So inspiration, as in, I feel you have to think like, what would a nurse connect to? Talking about the dentist niche. So a dentist can wear a T-shirt like, I am a dentist, you're safe with me. So something like that, what a dentist would connect to, you can create designs around that. And we've seen that if you're targeting a niche, it is the quote which works really well, rather than just a design. If you're writing something which a dentist would want to tell his audience or anyone who's reading, and okay, you can identify me as a dentist, come, let's talk. Something like that. So those kind of quotes would work really well.
Does it also make sense to, let's say, go to Instagram, go to like niche-based influencers who are in that niche, and check out what the kind of, if they are saying something, we basically print their quote up inside a T-shirt after, of course, taking permission from them and then sell it. So all of that, does that work? So that will be probably trend-based, right?
Correct. I feel that would work brilliantly well, because influencer marketing is one place where you get to build the brand at the cost of purchase can go really down there. So when you're looking at ads alone, we've heard that the cost of customer acquisition, the ad cost, all that becomes very high. But with influencer marketing, you get these quotes which influencers normally say. They would be more than willing to collaborate there also. So if you're going that route, then yeah, that would work really well.
So basically, like, collaborate with an influencer and then set up their quotes on your store. That's awesome. Like that's probably a way you can build a solid brand also. Select a niche, pick up the influencers from that niche and collaborate with them. That's awesome.
You get access to his entire community, right?
Yeah. All right, let's talk about price points, right? So this is something that I've seen in a lot of POD groups also. People debate furiously on like what is the ideal price point to charge shipping or not charge shipping. So let's we'll take it two cases. So first would be, let's say you're selling in the US, and now if you're selling in India. So let's start with US. What would be your ideal price point that would be easy to sell, like a standard like T-shirt for a male in the US with free shipping?
For free shipping, the standard pricing, I've seen people sell it for like $24, $29 with free shipping. So that is the price point what anyone would think if you're buying from any of the US fulfillment partners. If you're buying from there, that would be the normal price at which you would be selling. So the advantage there is when you're buying from India and shipping abroad, the price can go much lower. So you can get a T-shirt printed for as low as $5-6 here in India. So the shipping included, let's say it is about $10, so you can sell it off for $20. So you have a $3-4 margin there.
Okay, that's pretty solid.
Correct.
That's pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is how you can do it with the US. With India, we've seen that a minimum price point you should go with is $4.99. That can include free. You can offer free shipping and taxes included, obviously, because customers would not like taxes additional, shipping additional. They're used to that kind of a thing in India. And with COD, this is a COD dominated market again in India. So it is always advisable you charge $50 extra, $70 extra, and go for more prepaid orders, because with COD again the returns is there. You tend to see higher returns on the COD orders here.
So basically, in India, keep it a price point of $4.99 including taxes, and charge like 50 or 70 rupees extra if a person is paying using COD.
Right? Right.
All right, that's pretty interesting. Okay, so how much would it cost to source that $4.99 T-shirt?
It all depends on the design. So the T-shirt can go as low as $265. For $265, $270, it can go as low as that. And based on your design size, the optimum design size would be, let's say, an A4 size, like 10 by 10 inches, 10 by 9 inches. So that kind of a T-shirt would cost you about $295 to $300.
300 So you have around 200 rupee margin there. And
300 plus shipping. So 350, 360 is what you're looking at, as a final product to get shipped to the customer. So you get a margin of about 150 rupees.
so what this tells me, and this is pretty interesting, thanks for sharing all of this information. So what this tells me is that you have around 150 rupee margin with by selling in India, which is good if you can actually deal in volume. But then on the other hand, if you ship that same t-shirt manufactured in India, ship that same t-shirt to the US, you can sell for $20, so which is around 1500 rupees. So you have suddenly a much bigger margin. Right.
Yes.
How,
Yes.
So how much does it cost to source and ship the item to the US?
So shipping to the US is generally about 900 rupees for a t-shirt. So 900, which is like $10, $12, approximately $12. So we have like different shipping modes. So what we've seen in the US is people there, they don't generally want like a 3-day shipping, like a 4-day shipping. That is in very rare cases. A lot of our merchants, a lot of our customers use this India Post option, which is like way cheaper. It is just 250 rupees. So you can get a t-shirt shipped from India to the US for like just 250 rupees. And that will take about 20-25 days, but the delivery percentage is really good.
Okay. So you have around $4 or something, $3 to $4 shipping, and then around $5 would be the sourcing cost. So around $9 a person is paying for like manufacturing as well as shipping it to the customer, and they can sell for like a $21 price point. So now I see, all right, so these are some good margins to play around with, because so when I'm looking at the Indian market, so if you're sourcing a product for 350 selling for 500, so and you have to advertise also, right? So you have to spend, so in order to acquire so that's why you probably said in the early part that lifetime value matters quite a lot. So when you acquire the customer, keep them in hooked, right? So I think, yeah, if you want to sustain in India, then you have to have multiple designs. You have to have a proper back-end marketing setup, emails and, push notifications. You have got, do all sorts of branding that you can to actually get more orders from them. And if you want to sell abroad, you can of course use Printrove to print as well as ship to the customer for way cheaper. I believe it is actually much lesser cost than what Printful and all these other services charge, right?
Yes, it is. It is far lesser than Printful.
Printful, I believe, charges $12-13 or something.
Yeah, the basic t-shirt comes around $12-13.
Yeah. So that's you save $3 there. So pretty interesting for those who are from the US also, who want to the only thing to keep in mind, shipping times will be slightly higher, and I believe like if you guys are probably looking into it already, like looking at other shipping providers who can ship faster with a lower price point, right? Instead of that, so that will be pretty awesome. Do you run your own POD store?
Not exactly. We had a store initially, but we decided not to focus on that store. We decided to focus entirely on Printrove. So we just kind of got away from it. So initially we had started with our own brand basically. And then we found that the designers that were working with us, they wanted to create their own brand as well. So that is the reason we went ahead and we thought of this idea of Printrove, and then we started building on from there.
I mean, if you're shipping 1,000-1,500 orders a day, I don't think you need your own POD store. This is your POD store, where you're getting others to do all the hard work for you. That's awesome. So this was actually one of my questions, international shipping, which I've already answered. So what I've noticed is in some of my personal contacts who are big in the POD space, doing like 6 figures a month in dollars. So they're like, they find a winning t-shirt, then they source it in bulk from China or some other places, and then they ship to the US and store it in the US warehouse. Do you have like some sort of bulk program where people can do that?
Yes, we are actually looking to do that. That is, I was coming back to the next. So after the beginner strategy, the next strategy would be to, source the designs in bulk and then store it and then have them fulfilled. So we are running a beta with a couple of major brands in India. We call it the screen printing plus warehousing model. So what happens here is, you design your product such a way that they can be screen printed, they can be printed in bulk, or any other technology for that matter. So you can get them printed in bulk. We can store it for you. We can take care of the entire fulfillment. Here, the shipping is much faster.
So what this tells me is that, so if a person finds a winning design, so they can basically screen print and store it at your warehouse, and then you guys will fulfill as soon as the order comes. So what this does, of course, because you're printing in bulk, so the cost and time to print, right? Because rather than printing one by one, as soon as the order comes, you already have inventory, you can just ship out as quickly as possible. So this can actually make for a proper, like, solid business where you offer 2-3 day delivery time also to your customer. Right. Awesome. So what happens to the prices generally? So let's say you have 350 rupees. Let's say I want to sell in India. All right. So I've always had a vision of actually doing solid e-commerce in India. I've always been stuck in the US so far. Not stuck. I mean, it's good money there. But let's say I want to do it in India. So what would be the price of a 350 rupee T-shirt that you told me? If I, let's say, order 1,000 units of that, I found my winning product. I ordered 1,000 units from you guys. How low will that price go?
So it also depends on the design, the number of colors in the design, all of these parameters. So after all that is taken into consideration, the prices can go down to, like, really cheap, about 200, 220. The prices can go that low. Yeah, and that's the cost of t-shirt, and then of course the fulfillment fee, the pick pack fee, the storage fee, that is all separate. That can be optimized as and when you can plan your inventory. So based on all of that parameters, it would make like additional of 20-25% margin there.
Yeah, this is now suddenly sounding interesting. Now you've opened the gates for people to actually not just ship abroad, which is of course a viable option with these margins, but now you also have the option to actually sell in India once you find a winning product. And I think this is what all the big POD people are doing also. Like, they find a winning product, they source in bulk, and then they ship it out because that's where the margins are. Right. All right. Actually, one of my team members who's just, been blessed with a child a few months ago. So he was asking about kids. So he was asking about he wanted a custom romper for kid and everything. So are you guys planning on kid stuff also?
Yes. We have kids t-shirts coming up very soon. Like within a month's time, we'll be having kids t-shirts in about 8 colors or 8 to 9 colors, and that would start from like 0 to 1 years right up to 14 years. So there are like 7, 8 sizes again in that range. So we'll have all those live in a month's time.
That's awesome. I think he's going to be very happy when he hears about that. Now, let's see Amazon, Flipkart, and Myntra. Let's say somebody wants to build not only their own Shopify store where they sell their own t-shirts, but they also want that same brand to be on Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra. So will the strategy be the same? Like, they'll connect their Amazon, Flipkart, and Myntra accounts with Printrove, and then whenever an order comes, you guys will fulfill it completely?
Yeah, we don't have a native integration with these marketplaces because what we found initially, we had a lot of focus on sellers who wanted to sell on marketplaces.
Yeah.
But what we found is, because the thin margins there, you have to give a referral fee. Because of thin margins, people are not generally able to, sustain that longer in these marketplaces. And they're very good for branding, no doubt. You get all the SEO juice when Flipkart, Amazon is linking your brand's name. So you get all of that brand value from Google. As a business perspective, yes, if you can price your product higher, you have that kind of niche where the design is available only with you, then yes, Amazon, Flipkart, all of these marketplaces would make sense.
Do you have successful sellers in your database who are doing that?
Very few. And they're doing with Amazon majorly, not with Flipkart or Myntra, any other marketplaces. If they're doing it, they're getting it in bulk and they're fulfilling it themselves.
From what you've told me, the bulk thing sounds the most interesting. Like, spend money to advertise, which brings me to the point. Advertise. Like, what is the favorite go-to method of advertising for these POD people?
Our favorite mode of advertising would be, there's just Facebook. So Facebook, Instagram, leveraging Facebook and Instagram, they have the power of data. You can drill down like really targeted niche. You can figure out interest, how many people are there in that kind of an interest. So go-to strategy would be Facebook and Instagram ads. But I would also strongly suggest to look at the influencer marketing angle. Next would be YouTube. Create content around your niche so that your brand stays longer.
Okay.
So you can also focus on the Google and SEO, but advertising and that wouldn't work for a POD model that great as far as Facebook, how good Facebook and Instagram can work out.
Yeah, I mean, that's where volume is available. Uh, Pretty interesting. Or Facebook, Instagram, influencer marketing, YouTube videos, Google SEO, a lot of options there. Now, colors. What is what? Because this is again a hotly debated topic. Some people say white, some people say black. In fact, most people are like black t-shirts is the way to go. So if somebody who's, let's say, got a limited budget on advertising, would you just recommend they start off with small, medium, large, XL and just the black color, or do you recommend they try out multiple colors for a particular design?
It is better to have limited colors. Go with blacks, whites, reds, and yellows. Unless you want to create a niche around some special colors, some special colors in the sense olive green. Olive green is the next trend coming up. So you're wearing an olive green now. So that kind of a thing, So blacks and whites work really well. And one more angle to look at it is when you have limited set of colors, So when you get a return, so Printro stores that product in your inventory, and then you can reship that product also to save on the production cost here. So when you have limited colors, it becomes easier to sell the same inventory to someone else also.
Right, of course.
Yeah. So going with blacks, whites, reds, yellows, navy blues, these are safe colors to go with.
And like the actual print that's done on the t-shirt, do you recommend like single color prints or full colored prints generally work better?
Full color prints would make you stand out definitely. Full color, like if you have a lot of colors, it will make you stand out among the other players who are there. But when you look at if you want to go, if you have a thought in mind that you want to go with screen printing in the future, get bulk order done for such a designs, then one color, two color, three color is the way to go. So it depends on how long you see the design.
I think then for longevity, like keep limited colors, not just for the print, but also for the t-shirt, and keep limited sizes, small. So you recommend just these four, S, L, M, and XL, or you recommend double XL, triple XL?
No, I would suggest go with the plus sizes also. Plus sizes have its own, value proposition. Not a lot of stores do the plus sizes. We have up to 5XL. We're planning on going with 6XL and 7XL. Especially when you're selling abroad. So their plus sizes are a huge, in demand.
Correct. Awesome. I think I've learned a lot. I've taken down a lot of notes also, as you were saying. And I think I am ready to start exploring this thing in more detail. POD.
I'll be happy, you start POD in India.
Yeah, man. It's like a lot of people are talking about it in my doer group as well, like the Facebook group I have for premium people. So even there, some people have been asking about like, how do I ship in India? Because a lot of people, I think they are more interested in setting up an online store as well as a presence in India, selling inside India. So that is why I think this makes sense. But not just for those people, even for those who want to sell from India to US countries and all these places, you do see the margins are there. In fact, they are actually better than what you have like with those US fulfillers. So there's a good case to be made about POD and its growth. So I do wish you all the best. I think what you're on to is a gold mine. I hope you start getting 2,000-3,000 orders per day very, very soon, which I think you're on track to.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Yeah, who are encouraging people to start their own stores in India. So we're actually very grateful, because the entire e-commerce thing is going ahead because of you. I feel, because you are there to teach people how to market, leverage all these platforms, which only is happening outside of India. A lot of people there are not able to figure out their path. Okay, kya karna chahiye? What should I do next? So one thing that comes to mind is learn digital marketing, learn sales, set up your website. Drop shipping is only a path to enter your journey. There is lot to be done with e-commerce in India. So there's a huge thing out there.
Yeah, I mean, and think about this, man. With POD, a person gets to explore their creativity, like coming up with new designs, getting inspiration. It's such a creative kind of a work. It's not like a dull or boring desk job. It's like something you can think of new things every day and then, execute it, hustle, all of that. Awesome, yaar. Lovely talking to you, Madhur. It was a great experience. I hope you guys got to learn quite a bit. This was an excellent interview and excellent knowledge was getting shared here. If you guys have any questions for Madhur, make sure you mention in the comments below. I think, Madhur, will you be checking out this video when it gets published?
Definitely, yes. I'll be looking forward to it. I'll reply to each and every comment. Yeah.
Awesome, bro. So so Madhur will check out your comments also. If you have any specific questions about Printrove or what they do, definitely feel free to ask. I think I've covered quite a lot, especially for those people who have been on the sidelines who want to take the jump into POD. Seems like an interesting business opportunity right here. So I do wish you guys all the best. And Madhur, thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome. I hope to see you face to face one day, man.
Yeah, same here. Thank you so much for hosting me here. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Madhur.
Yeah.
Goodbye.